All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Rand Lunsford. I am on staff at IAAP. I work as executive assistant to Rachel Suman, who is our Chief Experience Officer. I actually started my IAAP journey as a volunteer, so I think a lot of people will tell you that the journey can end up you be anywhere, and it ended up for me on staff. So glad to see so many people
This
interested
meeting
in
is being
applying
recorded.
to committees. Um, we will have time after all of our speakers for questions, and Danielle will be in chat keeping an eye out for any questions, so please feel free to send them if you have them. We're going to start with Dexter from the DEI committee, and then Dexter's going to have to hop off because they actually have their committee meeting going on right now. So, Dexter, are you ready to take it away?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Again, I am Dexter Allen. I am the chair for the DEI committee. Um, I've written down my information, so I'm gonna read through it, and because I gotta get back to my committee. Okay. Um, the IAAP DEI committee overview. What our committee does. Well, the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee works to support IAAP's mission by helping create a welcoming, respectful, and inclusive environment for all members. Our work focuses on strengthening engagement, encouraging belonging, providing opportunities for education, dialogue that promote inclusive leadership and professional development across the association. We strive to make this platform a safe space to be your authentic self and to share your viewpoints and ideas. As far as who is a strong fit, I say anyone can be a strong fit. You don't have to have any experience; just have an open mind. And a strong fit for this committee is someone who values collaboration, teamwork, diverse perspectives, and who has an interest in supporting member engagement and organizational growth. You do not need to be a DEI expert. What matters most is a willingness to learn, to listen, and contribute uh, thoughtful, thoughtfully to conversations that will help move the association forward. This includes working respectfully with individuals of different lifestyles, cultures, ethnicities, races, viewpoints, and physical abilities, while actively embracing and promoting a culture of belonging. And one thing about this, a fit for it, I feel like I'm a walking diversity. I'm a a male, a black male. I have a disability. I'm considered I'm a baby boomer, so I'm older. So but I know how to fit in, and I'm one that loves to adapt. Why someone should join? We need you. We love to have you. Serving on this committee is meaningful because our work has a direct impact on the culture and experience of IAAP members, professionally and personally. We help shape initiatives and conversations that strengthen the association and ensure members feel supported and represented. It is an opportunity to be part of work that influences the future direction of IAAP, as well as your life personally. My personal experience, um, my favorite part is serving as a collaborating and dedicated professionals who are committed to meaningful progress. I've been a part of DEI as far as professionally for years. I worked in DEI platforms, departments, and I love to work with people with different aspects, races or whatever. You always can learn something. Um, and serving on this committee has strengthened my leadership, communication, and strategy thinking skills, all of which have supported my professional growth. In addition, I have learned to embrace my diverse characteristics even more, such as adapting with hearing disabilities. Last, advice for those considering applying: we welcome you, we want you, we need you. If you're passionate about people, the future of diversity, equity, inclusion, team building, culture development, growth, and contributing in innovative ideas to help us level up, I encourage you to apply. And also, I'm one that love to have fun no matter what I do. I like to make DEI comfortable, fun, and I welcome any innovative ideas, different ways of thinking, because we all don't know, none of us know everything. So we welcome all that want to apply, thinking about applying, and just step outside your comfort zone and come on, and we'll welcome you with the red carpet.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dexter, and we'll let you get away to your meeting. Appreciate it so much.
Okay. All right. If anyone have any questions about DEI, you can get my information from Rand.
Yes, definitely.
All right. You all have a good evening.
You too. Okay, next, Teresa, are you ready to talk about the PDFC?
I can do that if you'd like.
Amazing, thank you.
So, can everyone hear me okay? Perfection. So, good evening. My name is Teresa Stewart. I am currently serving as the chair of IEEP's PDFC committee. The PDFC is the Professional Development Forecasting Committee for IEEP, and in its third year, I've been on the committee since it started. So I served 2 years as chair elect, and this is my term as chair. And in the 3 years that the committee has been active and working, let's see, what haven't we done? It's a lot of fun research. It's a lot of getting to understand what helps this profession grow, what's going to help the profession grow, and what kind of professional development is needed throughout the administrative profession. And that covers everything. That's not just, oh, I'm an EA or I'm an administrative assistant or a receptionist, a coordinator, a chief of staff. It doesn't matter titles, it doesn't matter industries. The work that the PDFC does is different in that it is looking at business trends, it's connecting with other admins, whether they are IAAP members or not, and it is researching and coming up with recommendations that look at the future focus for admins, right? So it covers everything from doing research on how adults learn and adult learning methodologies, from administering surveys to people, whether they do CAP or whether they're just administrative professionals. We've also hosted focus groups, both at the annual summit as well as focus groups that we host in the spring that we invite admins of who are available at the time to come in and kind of like give their take on professional development and what they're seeing and what they talk about and what they need, whether it's personally at their organizations or things that they're hearing just around in being part of the profession. The great thing about the PDFC is that you will get to do some really interesting work if you decide that you want to join. You'll also get to learn a lot just about what goes into taking you from where you are to where you might want to be, or just stuff that you want to learn. Everybody on the PDFC is a self-proclaimed lifelong learner. And the great thing about that is that you'll get a learning aspect in doing work on the PDFC, as well as just a fun aspect of coming up with ideas and suggestions that are around development for our profession, as well as just things that you would think would also be part of a great way for admins to learn and develop, whether it's in their titles or to advance in their own careers. I think one of the other questions is, why should you consider joining? Well, that was pretty much the reason why you should consider joining. Is you'll get to dive into those things. You'll get to dive into learning and development for the administrative profession. You'll also get to do a bit of research. And if you like to do interviews or run a focus group, that is always something that is going on, as well as managing and learning about some of the speakers that connect with IEEP and work with the organization. And then the last tidbit, my personal favorite experience on the committee has really been getting to know the committee members, learning about the work, and aligning what we do as a committee with IEEP's overall strategic vision. And that's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Teresa. With that, let's go ahead and go to Karen for the GLC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Brown. and I am a part of the GLC committee, which stands for Governance and Leadership. And it's been around for a long time. It helps out the board and the foundation board. And we're tasked with assessing and vetting volunteer responsibilities. We assess and then we identify any leadership gaps. We update the applications, like review them to make sure they're simplified and easy for the applicants to understand. And then we help uphold and steward the IAAP leadership philosophy. So with all of that being said, because I'm long-winded, so basically we develop leaders within IAAP. So we focus on identifying emerging leaders. We support the current ones. We make sure we're building a strong leadership pipeline for the future. And our work directly supports IAAP's mission because strong leaders create strong member experiences. And when we invest in leadership development, we're really investing in every member, including ourselves, who interact within the organization. So if you are someone who genuinely enjoys helping people, you want to be a part of GLC. I think it would be a great fit, right? So, because that's how I got here. And we need people who can see potential in others. Sometimes we have the eye to look at somebody and say, oh my goodness, he or she would be a great leader. They're this, they're that. And we don't even see it in ourselves. But being a part of the GLC, it helps you to help others, but it also helps you to help yourself. And it's a service, right? We're administrative professionals. So our career is serving. Not only is that for me, it's not just a personal thing, but it's a professional thing. It's personal. It's our God-given right to serve, right? He serves us, we serve him. We should serve all his people. That's just me. I'm sorry I had to say that. Because that's how I really feel. I'm not gonna cry. I'm about that. Okay, so and I'm nervous. One reason I encourage people to join any IAAP committee, but especially this one, is because you move from being just a participant, just a member, to being a contributor. And what makes the GLC especially meaningful is that the impact is really personal. We're not just filling positions, but we're having real conversations about growth, confidence, and opportunities that we're not really afforded most times in real life. And GLC helps us get put in front of people to get those opportunities as administrative professionals. And it's been a wonderful ride. My favorite part of serving has been encouraging someone to take a step that they weren't sure that they were ready for. Will we ever be ready for anything that happens to us in life? No. But just because we don't feel qualified or ready does not mean we should step back and not take a chance. Because when you take that chance, you have people that are going to be there to hold your hand and walk you through that step. And that's what the GLC does. Even though we're dealing with, as I stated, interviewing and revamping the applications and things of that nature. But when we're doing it, when we're looking at the resumes and then doing the interview and you get to meet individuals for those few minutes, I'm telling you, you can learn a lot about a person. And you can really see like, oh yeah, sometimes you want all of them. And we know we can't have all of them. But if you could find a spot for all of them, you would tell the other committees, just take take if you can get five more. You know? So um so yeah, so I like that about it. And then what was the other what have I've learned that leadership development, it has to be intentional. You have to want to be it, right? Leadership, when you hear that word, most people, especially administrative professionals, because we always say our leaders, I'm supporting my leaders. Those, they are people leaders, but we're all leaders within our right. So that's what IAAP helps us to see. It's not just talking about growing into being a people leader, but it's growing into a leader. And when you are a leader, people look at you and you motivate them. They want to get behind you. They want to, I don't want to say become you, but they want to do the same things. And you help them to see that it's possible. You could do this too. Little old me, I'm doing this. So, Teresa, Dexter, and so many up here. I'm sure they felt like I felt when they first started, scared, deer caught in the headlights, didn't know or understand really what or how they would be contributing to other people's growth, because it's not just about us, it's about everyone. And so serving on the GLC has supported my professional career growth. It's been very impactful. um, I just got promoted unexpectedly on the ninth to program consultant, and I was like, oh my, like I couldn't believe it. And so and then it motivated me to go back to school. I don't have that many more credits before I get my bachelor's degree. So I start school on April the 8th. But again, I wouldn't have the courage without being a part of IAAP and being a part of the GLC committee. You meet so many wonderful people, and they're just so supportive. You get coaches, strategic thinking, a lot of collaboration, different perspectives. And that's one thing you'll love about the GLC. When we come together, all of us are different. Our thought processes are different. But when I'm going to say, get in the room, even though it's virtually, we're able to feed off of one another and look at things in a different perspective, not be closed-minded, be very open to new things, challenges, and like I said, the different perspectives. Hmm, um, and committee service stretches you. It stretched me in ways that I didn't think I could be stretched. And it builds your confidence, it builds clarity about where you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it, if you should do it. All those questions that, you know, just go through our mind every second of the day, really. Um, and so, with all of that being said, because like I said, I will get up here and then we'll be up here 2 hours. If you're considering applying, my advice is just simple. Don't disqualify yourself. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready. If you are motivated to do it, just do it. I promise you, they will catch you. You will not fall. They will be there every step of the way. And it's very meaningful being a part of IAAP anyway. But when you are a part of one of the committees, it's a different, it's a different feeling. It's a really good, yeah. So I'm done. Shut up now.
Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate the passion, and you can see it come through. And I'm lucky because I get to work pretty close with Karen, someone of the staff supports on the GLC. And I think as you go through the applications, you will see how intentional they have been with what questions you're being asked. And, as you go into the interview phase, the same thing. So that is definitely, again, I think the interview and the application experience this year is going to be one of the best that we've had so far. So I'm really excited about that. All right, let's go ahead. Kathleen, are you ready to talk about ARC?
Oh, yeah, of course. Took me a minute to get into this Zoom, so I'm thankful I'm here and ready. I am Kathleen Diano. I am the current chair-elect of the Awards and Recognition Committee. So I just want to talk about what our committee does and why you should consider applying for our committee. So we're really about shining a light on the wonderful things that our members are doing and like what makes IAAP such a strong and supportive community. Um, our committee is responsible for reviewing all capstone scholarship applications, as well as summit scholarship applications, and reviewing summit awards and interviewing all award applicants. And so we go through some training before we start our scholarship application reviews. And it's really a collaborative process. I mean, it takes a village to, review applications, and it's really inspiring to read some of the stories of the applicants and why they're applying for these scholarships and why they're applying for summit rewards or summit awards. And so that's one of my favorite things that we get to do on our committee. So, we make recommendations to the board on who these scholarship recipients should be. We also evaluate the processes and criteria of current awards and recognition programs for potential updates and better alignment with IAAP's mission, vision, and values. And we also explore new ways to recognize IAAP members and leaders, and we provide those recommendations to the board. So being on this committee, so I was a committee member last year. I'm chair-elect this year. I'll be the chair next governance year. And it's been such a rewarding experience to be able to give back to the association that supported my own growth. It also connects you with people who are passionate and dedicated professionals from all across the organization. So you really feel like you're contributing something that lifts up the entire community. So, if you're someone who enjoys collaboration, thoughtful evaluation, and celebrating the achievement of others, I really do encourage you to apply for the Awards and Recognition Committee. It's really just a welcoming, rewarding committee to serve on. We're always excited to bring in members who value recognition and want to help celebrate the amazing work that's happening within the IAAP. And back to what Karen had said, sometimes you never feel like you're ready. Sometimes you're scared. Just do it anyway. Do it scared. I don't know what I'm doing all of the time. And so, but I have so many amazing people around me to help me through it. So it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to feel like you don't know what you're doing, because there are so many people that are here to support you. And I mean, this has really given me the confidence, not only, within our committee, but in my everyday life. It's like confidence you didn't know that you had. And so it's, whether it's Awards and Recognition Committee or any other committee, just try it. And I remember when I first had no idea what I was doing within IAAP. I'm like, well, I want to get involved, but I don't know how. I picked a committee, and I was a thank you, no thank you to that committee. And then they're like, but maybe you would be good in another committee. And that's how I ended up at the ARC. It wasn't my first choice, but I really feel like this was the best choice. And so even if you apply for a committee and it's I don't know if you're right for this one, but you may be really good for this one. Don't let that discourage you, because, like Karen said, they really, bring out the confidence in leaders and might see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And so while you're like, maybe I'll do this one, and you might get put in a different one. And so I don't want people to be discouraged if, you apply for a committee and aren't selected, and, pick a different committee, because again, it might just be the place that you need to be.
Amazing. I love that you bring that up, Kathleen, because that is so true that when we are reviewing applications, it's all about what viewpoints are we missing or what skills are we missing. So it's definitely about not just where you fit best, but what the committee needs the most. So I love that you bring that up. Um, Kelly, are you ready to talk about CAC?
Yes, I am. And like Catherine, I apologize for being tardy. I had a little bit of an issue getting logged in myself. So thank you all for being here. I recognize some familiar faces. So if we've already spoken about CAC, get ready for Kelly's soapbox again. This is where I'm officially allowed to do it. First of all, the Certification Administration Committee is responsible for making sure that all the policies and procedures that surround certification, specifically renewals, recertifications, I should say, and initiatives that surround the CAP are administered fairly with an eye to diversity, equity, and inclusion in a way that allows the most members of IAAP and non-member people who aren't members yet, we'll just call them that, make sure that they have the best possible experience around the CAP. As many of you know, a couple of years ago, we dropped our NCCA accreditation, which gave us a lot more freedom to administer the exam and make some changes into how we're doing things. So those of you who were at Summit last year may have seen the CAP Summit experience or heard about that, where you can take your CAP on site at Summit. We're also going to be opening up an additional window, which you will have seen that information coming out, a third testing window for the year to allow more opportunities for people to take the exam. We have worked with the foundation on initiatives to help our sister members in the Jamaican Association of Administrative Professionals with some needs that they had specifically related to hurricanes. I mean, you've all seen the news. There's a tremendous amount of struggle there. And so we were able to work with our foundation cohorts, and Katie Mercier, who's our staff liaison, and Amy Psycho were down there on the island for their annual meeting and took some material so they don't have to worry about internet access, which is a huge issue for them. We're really freed up to focus on how can we be yes and people? How can we get people excited about certification and make sure that they have a great experience? Let's see. Let me look at my questions again because I lost my spot. So if you're a strong fit for CAC, we need people who are passionate about education, about bringing certification to as many people as possible. We need people who are innovative, who can think outside of the box and think about how we can provide more people opportunities for certification, for earning it and for maintaining it. It kind of answers those two questions, Rand. You know, what would be a strong fit and why should you consider joining? If you're passionate about the exam, this is actually a really interesting year to be joining. This is the 75th anniversary of an exam of certification through IAAP. In 1951, the Certified Professional Secretary designation was founded, and so now in 2026, with the CAP and all of our additional initials that you can get through your capstones, it's a fantastic time to join. There's some really exciting things coming up that are going to help change the course of certification for our future administrative professionals. So it's a really cool time to be joining. You know, for me, I made CAP really scary. I joined IAAP in 2001. Baby Kelly admin was joining when it was, a 3 or 4 part exam, and it was a whole day, and it was this big deal. And I talked myself out of it because I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I talked myself out of it until 2019 because I'm an expert procrastinator. And so after I took it, I realized the resources that were available to help people. So we have study groups now. We have official IAAP study groups for the CAP, not to knock anybody who's taken it through a third party. I did too, and it was a great experience. But now you can take it through IAAP, through an administered study group there. So we're taking away those barriers. We're taking away those fears. I don't want anybody else to sit there for 18 years and go, do I really think I can do it? Yeah, you can do it. You know it. And we're here to help you to make sure that you know what you're doing. We have a rigor to this exam. It's the oldest. It's the gold standard for administrative continuing education. But it's a great opportunity. And especially this year, I'm rolling off. I was very fortunate to serve under some great chairs, and this committee really needs people who are excited, who are willing to pitch in and do the work. I know on the website it says 2 to 6 hours of work a month. Generally, it's not the 6. Usually, it's the hour that we have our meeting, and then an hour, maybe 2, in prep work for the meeting and any additional homework that you have, because we do regularly review policies and procedures. As the exam changes and our paradigm changes, we have to make sure that the policies and procedures that are written match what we're doing, and that we're keeping as up to date as possible. CAC is not sexy work. I'll tell you, it's not. I was listening to Karen get all emotional, and I was like, yeah, I get excited about CAC. I don't get that emotional, but it's not that kind of work. But the cool thing is now we have the ability to help people financially with their renewals if they need it. We get a lot of people who have life happens. All you have to do is turn on the news and see it. And we now have the ability to help folks who need it, thanks to our work with the foundation. And everybody who donates to Power of 10 or whatever you do at Summit, that sort of thing, that all helps. And it all helps people with their continuing education and professional development, and helping people like even little old me from East Jesus, Alabama, living here in Texas, realize that I can do it, and that confidence boost. I can't tell you how valuable that is. So, yeah. And if you're interested or have more questions, I'm always here. Paris Decker is the chair-elect this year. So if you join, you'll be serving under Paris, who is fantastic. And we really need new voices because nearly everybody's rolling off this year. So it would be a great opportunity to get in, learn about the CAP, and really make a difference. And I'll climb off my soapbox now. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. I have to say, this year, every time I've heard an update for credentialing on new options that we have or updates, I've been amazed. It just has really been revamped this year. So I'm excited to see what will come. We just have one more speaker, which is going to be Rory for the VSC. So Rory, do you want to take it away?
Happy. Thank you very much, Rand. Hello, everybody. Thank you for, I'm very excited to be here today. I get to talk to you about a brand new committee that we are setting forth this year. That is our VSC committee, known as our Volunteer Steering Committee. And why serving on it has been really we haven't started yet, so I can't tell you how meaningful the service has been. This is brand new work, and it's very exciting for me because this gives us a chance to bring in the members to the core volunteer service to come and kind of assist me as we move that. So, what does the VSC do? The VSC is a joint standing committee of both IAAP and IAP Foundation Board, and we provide strategic oversight to the entire volunteer program. So, this isn't managing the volunteers directly. Instead, this is focusing on governance, reviewing applications for director and coordinator positions, recommending talented leaders to the boards, and identifying skills and capacity gaps, and suggesting improvements to help the volunteer program evolve. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about this, consider yourself lucky. I'm going to talk about it again. We are just getting ready to launch our restructure of the core volunteer program. That is where this wonderful one committee comes from. We will have a whole new structure. So the people stepping into this position, we're gonna have a busy few months, but I'm very excited about it. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. So our current cycle, we've got a weird cycle. We've got it running March through July. However, we are going to reopen our applications in March, and anybody who applies then, you would start in July, which is when our governance years run, July to July or summit to summit, easiest way. So, who would be a strong fit? We're looking for strategic picture thinkers who can see the big picture. This is somebody who walks into a room and understands where the faults are and how to fix them. I would love to see you there. Detail oriented when evaluating applications, comfortable with basic technology, and interested in governance. I think everybody here has done a really, really amazing job of speaking to the leadership journey that you can take within IAP. I've watched so many of the people who just spoke on their journey, and I promise you they're telling you what they're telling you is real. I have talked to so many people who don't believe that they have what it takes to step up and serve. And then, 6 months later, they've started their own company and they are just thriving. Like, whatever your dream is, that I think that there's something to be said about coming in and serving and learning how to maneuver in these situations. It's very, very valuable. Why you should consider joining the VSC? Well, you get to hang out with me and Tainay, which is obviously amazing. Also, the VSC gives you a chance of governance level view of IAP's entire volunteer structure. Eventually, we don't really want, this volunteer cut over here and this volunteer cut over here and committees over here. We're all one big volunteer happy family. So we are looking towards moving that in that direction. If you want to contribute to IAP's long-term success and help build something sustainable, the VSC is a perfect fit for you. So just to let you know, again, those applications will reopen with everybody else's. So I would love to see you all there. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rory. Just to close out before we get to questions, I just want to make sure everyone is aware of the timeline for applications. So applications open on March 2nd and close on March 16th. So if you're still considering, not sure if you're going to apply, you still have some time to think about it, but I would really encourage you to do so. We would love to have you on a committee. And you can go to our lead page to learn more information about the committees and to remind yourself of the application times. Would love to open up to questions if anyone has any. I do know sometimes asking a question in this format it's not my favorite to do, so please feel free to send me an email if you prefer to ask a question that way. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask or send it in the chat.
I'll go ahead and ask. So Rory, the initial VSC they seated in January, that's just short term?
Well, no. So the first batch, it's a 2-year service. So the first group, they will go into that second one, but we will open it up because we had a smaller group apply. So we want to open it up and see if we can kind of build that out a little bit as we start our first full official year.
It's very interesting. Thank you for that information.
Of course.
Well, again, please feel free. Minette, go ahead.
Hi. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm using a different mic device, but I have a question about the ARC. So you mentioned the different scholarships that would be reviewed, Kathleen. If if someone was a committee member, do they have to possess those different, like um, I forget, there were a couple that you mentioned. I know CAP, obviously, but then there were a couple of other programs that were mentioned. So would the committee member actually have to have those credentials or designations to be a member?
No, so you don't have to be like a previous scholarship recipient to serve on our committee. You cannot apply for any of those scholarships or awards being on the committee, but you don't have to have received any of those.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Although I will interject, we do need you to be a CAP holder to be on CAC.
Yes, that would make sense. Yep. Thank you. I think I got mine.
That just made me think of that. So I was like, sorry, it's
No,
been a very long day, y'all. So
you
yeah, I
triggered a
should have said
history in
that.
my mind. I think I got mine in 2018 when I had to go off-site for the exam, and it was it was a lot. So it's beautiful to see how things have been refined and easier for the new applicants.
Any other questions come to mind for anyone? Okay. Well, then we will go ahead and leave it there. Again, please feel free to reach out to me or Danielle if you have any questions. We would be happy to help or connect you with someone on a committee.
Rand, we
Yes.
do have another question in the chat.
Oh,
They would love
perfect.
to know the basic requirements to apply for any committee.
Basic requirements. Each one might be a little bit different. Like Kelly said, for CAC, you have to have your CAP, but most of them should be listed on the lead page for each individual committee. But just you need to be a member, interested in volunteering, and yeah. So I would take a look at each one to see the individuals. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Danielle? Anything that I'm missing?
No, I think you did an excellent job of explaining them. And to Kelly's point, I believe CAC is the only one where you have to be a CAP holder. And then everything else has just a slight difference. So checking out the page that we have on leadership opportunities is a great way to really look and see, is that what I want to do? And of course, we can connect you with any of these amazing volunteer leaders, and I'm sure they would be happy to have one-on-one conversations with you, or you can talk to Rand, myself, Rory. Any of the staff is happy to jump on a call and talk leadership opportunities with y'all, because it is because of our volunteers on this screen that we are able to do what we do and support so many amazing admins out there.
Yeah, and I would just say can I add one quick thing to that too? Some
Yeah, please.
experiences that we've had on CAC. Make sure that you really do have a sincere interest in the committee that you're applying to. We've had a couple of people float on and off over the course of my tenure on CAC for a lot of different reasons, but it is a great opportunity to learn, to volunteer, but there's also work involved. So, make sure that you're at a point in your career where you do have the time or the capacity to put that time in, and that it's something that you genuinely care about, because that makes the work easier. If it's like, for me, the CAC work is fun because I love it. I'm sad to be rolling off of this committee. I genuinely am. But like, if I was, okay, maybe I'm a bad example because I just geek out about a lot of weird things. But if you don't care about it, if you're not as passionate about the certification part, then, think about what committee would mean a lot to you, or what you want to learn more about, and you're willing to put in the time to do it. Josh, so glad to see you. I know we're that path to CAP is a fantastic thing, and we're so excited about that. So I'm so glad to see you here and caring enough to
Hi, it's nice to see you.
participate in that. Yeah. But yeah, just make sure it's something that you genuinely care about and that you're willing to put in the work. Because we've had some times where the work was a little bit harder because didn't have quite the right group. So that would be my only advice. Sorry, I didn't mean to ramble on about that, but it's just kind of fresh on my mind as we've been recapping things. So
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you to our committee members for taking the time to join as well. And I hope to see applications from all of you. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much.